closer, why don't you? And look at the most unco as podcast ever in the world. I'm not even ready. I haven't got anything set up. But yeah, this is it. This is first ever episode of A Cup of Tea with Isoa. And don't you guys worry. I've actually got a cup of tea here, ready to go, in celebration of Tongan Language Week, and probably for like forever be sipping out of these mugs from the $2 shop. Nothing like the good old bow tea. But yeah, first episode of A Cup of Tea with Esau. And I don't have a guest. I actually decided to just record this on a whim because I just had a conversation with my friend Vili, and I was like, Vili, I got your camera. Pretty much everything. And it's just sitting here. And he was like, then friggin' use it. So here I am, friggin' using it, and going to be talking to myself for a certain amount of time, which is what I do anyway on a normal basis. But yeah, hi everyone, my name's Isoa Kawakimoto. Welcome to the first episode of A Cup of Tea with Isoa, and it's Tongan Language Week. This is Tongan Language Week, and I didn't do shit. Yeah, I didn't do fucking anything for Tongan Language Week, mostly because I'm just too busy. Like, as much as I would love to celebrate Tongan Language Week more, like, I just couldn't find the time. Just busy with work, busy with frickin' all these other side projects that I'm now a part of, and just can't do it. And don't get me wrong, I love being Tongan, and I just want to preface this by saying I'm gonna swear in these podcasts, so if we're whakapapa, or you're not used to hearing me talk like this, well, unlucky else. This is where I get to be unapologetically me, and you're just gonna have to fucking deal with it. But yeah, Tongan Language Week this week, and didn't do anything, and yeah, I just wanted to have a chat today about, like, the pressures of being Tongan, you know? And I'm sure it's similar like that, for, like, all the other Pacific, countries, like Samoa and Fiji and all that. Like, I'm sure it's similar. It's just difficult being a child of, Oceania sometimes. Because I was in the middle of, my therapy session, my counseling session with my amazing counselor. If you're watching this, you are incredible, and I thank you for everything. But yeah, we're talking about all the hats and responsibilities and stuff that I wear, and one of the things that we spoke about last week that we kind of like had to talk about this week was not believing in the compliments that people give me, not believing in all of the praise, and not believing that I deserve praise or to even have praise, like, just always thinking I'm fucking shit. And she was like, do you she's asking all these questions, and then I'm just like, do you know, like, and I just tied it back to being Tongan for some weird reason. I have no idea why. Don't ask me why. And she just goes, like, what about your culture that you could say kind of makes you not believe that you're worthy of all this praise and that you're worthy of doing more? And I just go, And I started talking about teki tekis. You know, if you don't know about a teki teki, the teki teki is a decorative headpiece worn on the taurunga girl's head when she goes out and performs, and usually it's got like a whole bunch of money on it. And before she does the taurunga, like the person of honor, like whether it's their wedding or it's their birthday, will be like, oh, come and take the teki teki off the person's head. And the speech usually goes along the lines of, oh, ko ho'oki koini pēna i alo ai aki hau ki ka painu. Or it's like, koina ko ki mea pēna ke lahi mea mau si masiva pē. Ki alo ai aki hau ki foi ma, you know. Which they're essentially saying, oh, there's some coins for you to go and buy yourself a can of drink, or, you know, it's not much, we're poor, but here's a little bit of money for you to go and buy yourself a loaf of bread. And it's usually like hundreds, upwards of thousands of dollars. I think the most I've ever seen in a teki teki is like $5,000 or $6,000. That's a lot of money. And I can only imagine what it's like. And you know, usually stuff like that, I'm like, oh, this person is very smart with their money, but also I know what it takes to kind of pull off a feat like that. Not the 5 or 6K, believe me. My family is, I think the most we've ever contributed for like a teki teki, like all up with our extended families, probably like 2K or something like that. But I know what it's like to go without, because you know that you've got a massive family thing on. And yeah, and it's just that humility, that forced islander humility, you know. Oh, that's not much, but here you go buy yourself a loaf of bread. 5K. Oh, it's not much, but here you go buy yourself a can of drink. $2,000, you know. So, you know, and I think that's where I tied it to. And those of you guys who know Tongan culture, know of the whaika veikola, the 4 golden values that were established by Queen Salote. Yeah, Queen Salote would know that that's just tied into everything. That one sentence and that gesture is tied into everything of the whaika veikola, the teki teki, and giving so much money and all that stuff. Sorry. You know, so it's whakaapa, respect, tauhiwa, establishing and maintaining of good relationships, lototo, humility, and shucks, what's the other one? Mamahi mea, doing things to the best of your ability. That's the 4 golden values, the whaika veikola. And in that sentence, in that grand gesture of giving the teki teki, which is like hundreds or thousands of dollars, that's it, in that gesture. You know, you're whakaapa, you're being respectful, you're using respectful language, you're not fucking swearing like I am tonight. And also you're there out of a sign of respect and reverence for the guest. I mean, not for the guest, but for the person you're celebrating. Mamahi mea, doing things to the best of your ability, which is, I'm gonna starve myself for the week, I'm gonna save up, or I'm gonna go out and ask my auntie for money and no paanga and go and see the people who loan money. Like, I'm gonna go see them so that I can make this look good, so that I'm giving it my all. What's the next one? Tauhiwa, establishing and maintaining good relationships. That's you maintaining the relationship, maintaining the space between you and the person there. You're there showing up for them. And the last one is humility. It's not blowing your own horn. It's not going, yo, that's a lazy 5K. I know you can do whatever you want with it. Go spend it, go pay some bills. Humility is, it's not much. We're poor people, but here you go. And it's personified in that one gesture. But it also makes me feel like, as a Tongan, I can't ever toot my own horn. Because as soon as you kind of start buying into your own hype, or kind of just having a little bit of confidence in yourself, if the wrong person sees it, tall poppy syndrome kicks in, and I'll be like, bro, that dude needs to fucking get his shit together. And I think that's where it kind of all stems from. My kind of not being able to take a compliment. Trust me, I cannot take a compliment. Ooh, step belty. I can't take a compliment for the life of me. Every time someone shoots one at me, I shoot one back. And I've had people literally say, bro, just take a fucking compliment, bro. And I'm like, oh. And right now I'm mucking around on like Tinder and Bumble. And I've got a few people who are like, oh man, your journey is so inspiring. And I get that quite a bit as well. Your weight loss journey is so inspiring. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. I don't know how to deal with it. Because I'm not used to being complimented so much ever in my life. And I don't want to start thinking that I'm that, like I'm that cool or whatever, or inspirational and all that. Because to be honest, I post up all my videos and stuff. I don't do it to be seen. Why is this cup? Oh, it's from the. I didn't do it for all of that. 400,000 TikTok followers later, or 13K been featured on House of Highlights. What was I going to say? House Hoops and ESPN. It's just a byproduct of it. I only posted up all that stuff just to keep it as a diary. And as a reminder that if I didn't do the exercise that day, then you're fucking lacking, Isoa. Sorry, I'm gonna adjust. Yeah. And somehow, someway, I'm an influencer. I feel like a swear. I feel so. You like this? This is my ghetto ass couch / bed. Yeah. And that's my long-winded story of why I can't take a compliment. So now it's kind of just taking it in, absorbing it, and just being like, you know what? I am kind of inspirational, but at the same time, like, have you done the exercise today you saw? No. Which is true for me. I haven't exercised I go for like little walks here and there, but I haven't done like a solid HIIT session in a while, which is really bad because I miss that stuff. I miss all that stuff from the dojo. I've got like an 8 kilo kettlebell here, but bro, when I got it, 8 kilos was like, oh yeah, 8 kilos was a lot for me. I need at least 12 to 14 for me to be like, feel it. But yeah, bro, I find it weird as when people are like, oh man, I love watching your journey, and I'm like, the journey's still happening. Like, my story is still being written, and I love watching people like Titanium Woman and Heavy to Modified, and gosh, these are the only ones I can name off the top of my head. I love watching their stuff because Heavy to Modified, he's still got a little bit of ways to go, but to see him now to where he was, Madonna, so good, so good. Titanium Woman, she is incredible. Like, oh my god, Tulo. Which is weird for me to say Tulo after I've been fucking swearing here. But yeah, Titanium Woman, she's so, like, cool. And, like, all these people are so, like, they're cool as, and they've reached their goals, and now I'm kind of now I'm kind of being put in the same kind of category as them, and it does not feel right, because it's just the meanest imposter syndrome, because I'm still, look at me, I'm still fucking fat, and oh, that kind of stung, saying that for some weird reason. So I just can't be like, I will hype everyone up when I see that. But as soon as they start hyping me up about me and my stuff, and I'm like, no. But I'll give you progress updates when I can, or when I want. But yeah, I just find it weird when everyone goes like that. And it's even more stupid now that I've started this podcast after I explicitly turned around a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of this level 4 lockdown, when everyone was sharing like 7 facts about themselves and taking like 7 people. There's some pretty good tea. And they were taking, like, I was taking it a few times, and I just outright said no. I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And the reason why, I feel like my tea drinking is a little bit too noisy. And the reason why is because I have people who come up to me, like, off the street, and, like, they start talking to me like they know me, and fuck, that sounds so dickish for me to say that. I sound like such a fucking prick for saying that, but it's true. Like, you know, and some people do like, you know, take a moment and like, oh man, damn, I'm pretty sure you find it weird that I just like come up to you and like talk to you like I know you and all that stuff, and I'm like, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But you know, I guess it's just what it's like being me on social media. Like, this is fucking me. There are still certain aspects of my life that I don't share because I need that little bit for me. Why am I snotty nose a little bit? That is disgusting. But it's just protecting me and my headspace, because sometimes I don't know what people are like, and they could possibly try and weaponize me against me, and that's why I chose not to do that, and this is why I've chosen to do a fucking podcast. Be consistent with your outrage, Isoa. But yeah, it's so dumb that I would do that. But it's again, this is me choosing what to share with you guys, and I hope you guys are comfortable with that. And yeah, just tying it back, like, this is the origin story right here. This is ground level. No, this is the foundations of a cup of tea with Isoa. And I just want to, carry on the talanoa about the pressures of being Tongan. And, you know, we'll just tie back to the fight of Egola, giving everything your all, like, man, they can be a killer sometimes, eh? Like, I've seen my dad go, oh no, one of my lights went off. Hold on. Let's try to fix it. See if it'll come back on. Oh no. Is it? No, it's not. We'll just do this one. This ugly ass harsh shadow. Oh, just move it here. See if that'll work. Over there. Over here. Over there. Is that better? No. This is what it's like to work with no budget. You know, this is the pro life. Oh, oh my gosh. Hold on. Alright, that's a lot better. So, fuck, where was I? Yeah, it could be a killer. Doing things, because I've seen my dad go days without sleep. Because of a church feed, because of a funeral, because of something. You know, and I don't know how he does it. But in my heart, if anyone is the embodiment of those, you know, whāikawekola, it's my dad. I fucking love that man. And, and the toughest part about it is, how do I live up to that? You know, what the fuck am I talking about? No, I don't want to fucking talk about that. But it's like, I don't know how he does it, but like, I don't want to kind of, I don't know. Do I aspire to be like my dad? Yeah. But I don't think I ever could. And the reason why is plain and simple. I was born here. He was born in Tongan. Like, that's already different as it is. Obviously, living in this country, you know, you witness firsthand the mess that capitalism, like, has made in the world. And yep, now apparently people are gonna think I'm a socialist because of that, but yeah, it's just a completely different ball game here compared to Tonga. And my dad doesn't operate on that. He operates on, give. Like, to him, fuakavenga is like, you know, if you've got like one kavenga here, so kavenga is like, what's kavenga? Fuakavenga. Koe fua te kavenga. Kavenga is like, fuck. Kavenga is like a thing to do. You know, like a kavenga is like, you could see like looking after your sick parents or sick family members, a kavenga. A church feed is like a kavenga. A funeral is a kavenga. You know, so all of these things are like kavengas. And my dad is just like, oh, my right shoulder, the kavenga is a bit too, yeah, can you give me another one and onto my left shoulder so we can balance it out, like. to him, he kind of views all that stuff as like, oh, I'm just strengthening my shoulders, sort of thing, like he's fuaing the kawenga, like he's lifting, carrying the load. There you go, fuai kawenga, carrying the load. And I just can't do it. One, because doing all of that made us really poor. When I was growing up, like, we moved so many times. Different family homes, our own homes, and also sleeping in cars and stuff. But that was all because of, it was the fuakavenga and a whole bunch of other shit that I don't think I'll ever talk about. But I think it's just that I've got my dad's so used to living communally, and over here we're raised still communally, with the extended family and stuff. But it's like, you've got to you at the end of the day, you've got to fight for your own little piece of the pie, and I'm of the school of thought of, okay, we've got this and this going on. Okay, we can't do anything unless we pay the rent. Can't do anything unless we've got electricity. Do the electricity. Can't do anything unless we pay the Wi-Fi. All that sort of, pay the bills first. Everything else you can play with. Obviously, we still live paycheck to paycheck in this household. That's just the struggle. But we're working on it, guys. We're working on it. But to my dad, he's like, oku whai kai or whawhanga or something. Oh, that's alright. We don't need to pay rent. We'll do that. We don't need this. We'll just do that. And I'm sure a lot of you Tongans, or even just island people in general, it's alright. We'll pay that next week. And then the week after, and then the next week, something else pops up. And then something else pops up. I'm lucky now that I kind of have my own job, and I'll be surprised that I still have a job after all of this shit, but that I can now pick up the slack whenever stuff like that happens. But growing up, man, was a friggin' struggle. And that's all good. Apparently that's supposed to build resilience. I got to a certain point where I was almost all out of resilience, and attempted to take my own life a few times. Sorry if that triggers anyone. Sorry, I thought that was my dog. But damn, I just don't know how my dad's able to operate like that, and maybe because he lives on a completely different plane of reality than I do, and that to him giving, and I know, and I get that, bro. When I give, I do something good for other people, oh man, something goes off in your brain. It's what, oxytocin or some shit? I forgot what it is. And I love that. I've thought in my mind, bro, if you ever become rich or something, just go with a credit card or something, and have some random family members pose to be working at a checkout or something, or pretend to be a manager at a supermarket, and whenever someone uses those Wins payment cards to pay something, you just have the checkout operator call someone to come in and then use your card, my card, to pay for their groceries. Like, I want to do shit like that. That's how much I just want to do that stuff. And if someone wants to sponsor me to do that shit, like, I'd love to do it. But my dad is willing to just give until he's got nothing left. But I'm of the train of thought that you can't pour from an empty cup. And I've seen my dad not only pour from an empty cup, but give the cup too. And then he's left with nothing. On multiple occasions. And it might seem selfish for me to talk like this and all that, but I have been, in multiple times of my life, poured from an empty cup to the point where I've gone into like mental breakdowns, lost jobs, lost contracts, lost some pretty valuable relationships, burned a couple bridges. Like, now we're fine. But at the time, we were definitely not. And I'm grateful that a lot of the people in my life kind of get me, that I'm still going through this journey of dealing with whatever the fuck I've got going on here. The self-sabotaging behaviors, the suicidal thoughts, the depression, the feelings of inadequacy, the just dark patches, all of that. And I'm grateful for all those people, because, like, bros, there's so many people who have given me multiple chances, and they're just the best people in the world. Fuck, I need to sort my shit out. Anyway. Back to my dad. And I just don't get. I just don't know how. I don't know how he does it. He's able to just give. Because I'm of the school of thought is you give when you've got, and when you don't have anything, or when you're not looking after your own basic needs, don't do it. My dad's like, basic needs? Fuck that. You get a car. Everybody get... Oh, no. Sorry. You get a puaka. Everybody gets a puaka. And you know what's crazy? I've actually seen my dad do that. Like, literally, like, somehow, some way, buy like 10 buakas or something, 10, 15 buakas, pigs, by the way, that you like put on spit roast and stuff. Like, these are the suckling pigs that you have in like, that's like the major attraction piece of the like table when you go to a Tongan feast. I've seen my dad somehow just reach into his bag of tricks. Koi buaka, and I was like, so we got a payback, Dad. Who's got your card, my card? Who's got it? Like, that's what I mean. Like, my dad's just on a whole another like level, on a whole another plane of reality, and I love that about him. And that's why every Christmas I tell my parents, and this is pre-COVID, I tell my parents, you gotta be a fucking millionaire to be Tongan. Not only the fuck half is, but somehow, some way, everyone feels like, oh, this is a good time to get married during Christmas. Oh, this is a good time to like have like different people from Tonga come over during Christmas. Because, obviously when people are here from Tonga, you gotta look after them, you gotta feed them, you gotta take them on like, and then on top of that, when they go, everyone like meets up again, and then like kind of just everyone meets up again and gives more money and sees them off, all that sort of stuff. And then by the end of like Christmas and New Year's, you're kind of like left with nothing. And then you're stuck like trying to recover from Christmas and New Year's, and then it's like, you're not on your feet until like March, and then like from March all the way down until like November, you're just playing catch up, and it's been a perpetual cycle of that for like the past few years, which is why I'm so happy that borders are closed so that no one comes here so we can sort our shit out. Because if this was just going to be it, this perpetual cycle, I probably would have just, alright guys, I'm going to be palangi now. It's just like a hanga, and don't get it twisted. This is not me hanu, like I'm not complaining. This is me just telling you my experiences. And am I working on different ways where I can possibly like afford to chip into every makeover, to chip into every like puto and all that stuff? Yes. Because I want to do that. I want to give because I know what it's like to have like funerals happen out of nowhere. Like, I know what it's like to just have the unexpected happen, and then everyone has to rally. Like, I know what it's like. But it's being prepared for all of that is the hard one. It's kind of like training for a boxing match, but it's kind of like fighting for it's kind of like fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship of the world as a boxer. But it's like you're fighting Mike Tyson, but you're still trying to like learn the basics of boxing. Mike Tyson's getting his licks in, like knocking you out and stuff, and you're still learning like a 1-2, a right hand cross. You're still learning the basics. Like, that's how it feels a lot of times. Like, life is just Mike Tyson, and I am, I'm me. So yeah, one of the things I'm sorting out, and also I'm just in awe of my parents and just how they're able to give. And has that rubbed off on me? Yes. But am I more worried about paying bills so that we don't get kicked out of our house? Yes. Getting our power disconnected and getting the Wi-Fi disconnected. It's little things like that. And also because I'm relying on all those things for work. But yeah, that's like one of the weird things about being Tongan. One of the hard things about being Tongan. And I'm sure a lot of the Samoans will be sitting there going like, yes, this is what the Wha Lave is like and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, yep, I get it. We've built up a relationship with our butchers and like certain farmers when it's time to buy the puaka. When it's time to buy, wholesale boxes of beef, I know all the spots. And that's just that. That's just what it's like to be Tongan. In celebration of Tongan language week, hurrah! And I'm gonna tie it back one more time to the humility thing. And I just kind of coined the phrase. I said to my counselor, I said, it's toxic humility. And she was like, yeah. And she was like, that's the complete opposite from what like the Palangis have, which is, and she like said, and I was like, yeah, you know what, yeah. It just ties back to me not being able to kind of just smell the roses, because I feel like if I bend over to smell the roses, someone's gonna turn around and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Um, and I'm just gonna be honest right now. Like, Tongans are the loveliest people in the world. But at the same time, some of them are just the nastiest people I've ever seen. Like, not seen, but heard speak. And I can be quite nasty and petty too, to be honest. I'm no saint. But I've heard some of the ugliest combos ever thrown together of our beautiful language just being thrown at people, and I'm like, yeah. Like, it's stuff that I can't even translate into English. It's that disgusting. But yeah, that toxic humility is, and I feel like that's the buzzword now for everything. Toxic masculinity, toxic feminism, toxic this, toxic that. I feel like it's especially true for like us, but it's a double-edged sword as well, because it's like perspective. It's like, look, it's like, oh, if you put it into perspective, that $2,000 you gave in a teki teki that you think is like heaps, meanwhile the family spent like 10 grand or like 15 grand on like putting the birthday together, it's stuff like that where it's like, it's so, sorry, I don't have the answers for anything right now. And if you're watching this expecting answers for anything, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But this is the Tongan experience that I've seen firsthand. And you guys might just all see it as, bro, this guy's just negative. He's just shitting on being Tongan. Best believe that I am not. Okay? I love being Tongan. I love the thing that I love the most about being Tongan is mawhana. And if you guys have seen my video on my vlog channel of mawhana, it's like nothing ever does. And what I love about mawhana, which is like, mawhana just literally translates to warm. It's the warmth you feel. It's an overwhelming feeling of joy and happiness or emotion in the moment that just makes you feel like exploding. So you jump into like joyous movements of dance and like, screaming and, celebration. And all Tongans know that mawhana cannot be contained. Mawhana, you just let it happen. So that's why when our aunties and our uncles who can barely walk, somehow jump up on the tables and on the chairs at the birthday and at the wedding, we're like, yep, there goes, that's mawhana and diclofenac and colchicine and all the gout pills working in one go. And that's like my favorite part of being Tongan. It's mawhana. And also it's offer as well. Love. And I get why Tongans still stick to what the hell is going on here. Damn it. And I get why Tongans still like stick to like the whole Captain James Cook called us the Friendly Islands, like the Friendly Islands of the Pacific. They that's a badge of honor to most Tongans, and I'm one of the few that are like, Captain Cook? That rapist disease spreading bastard? Really? That's where we are. Like, we love him. Okay. Uh, and like I said earlier, like Tongans are amazing people. We're awesome, as well as real nasty, real toxic. But it's the sort of yin and yang thing that kind of just balances everything out, I guess. Oh my gosh. And also, have you guys ever had otai and loihosi and lusipi? A lot of Samoans are like, lusipi. It's just luau. Luau is the side dish. You know, you guys have gone and made it a main. It's like, yeah. Because that's just what the hell we do. We take one thing and we just make it extra. That's what we're known for. Have you not seen the footage of us dancing around in Otahuhu and on Queen Street? That's what we're known for. We're known for taking an inch and just, you know, we're known for being given an inch and just taking a mile. And it's just innately built in all of us Tongans. And that's what I love about it. And another thing I love about being Tongan is just the music. Oh. If there's one thing I wish I was like just Tonga so I could like have pipes and learn how to sing. But bro, if you hear like some of the beautiful metaphors crafted by these amazing Punake composers, poets, in Tonga or even here in like over abroad, it's just like, oh, it's magical, you know, like I love that so much. I wish I had the talent for it. I wish I had the knack for it. Now, if you're watching this, please teach me. I want to learn how to do that shit, please. But yeah, I can just go on and on and on about the things that I love about being Tongan, and it'll feel like Isoa, this podcast is like 80% shitting on Tonga and 20% you loving Tonga. Yeah. Because some of these things need to be said. Some of these things need to be addressed. Or I just feel like I need to vent. So, the steps from here are, I'm going to try and win the lotto. If not, I'm going to start investing in Bitcoin. Oh no, can't do Bitcoin. Can't do Dogecoin. I'm going to start my own cryptocurrency. Yeah. And I'm never gonna fold. I'm never gonna bellow when it comes to different stuff that just pops up. So don't think that, Isoa complained or Isoa said this about giving at the funerals and at the birthdays and at the weddings and stuff. Yeah, you can think that. But best believe I'm not gonna make my parents look like a dumbass and not chip in. I don't care about me. I can look like a dumbass. Couldn't give two fucks. But I don't want my parents to look like a dumbass. I don't want my granddad's name to be associated with a dumbass. You know? So, yeah. Call it being prideful or whatever. I'm still gonna do the best I can, show up and put on my fake humble when I know that I'm probably gonna be running on E when I leave your event, but that's alright. The car's running on E, but I won't be running on E from all the puaka. Hey man, but that's just it, you know. the only thing we can do is kind of like, you know, shucks, our parents didn't come here. Most of us, like, our parents didn't move to New Zealand like rich. They moved here, and a lot of them probably still don't know how to speak English too well. But somehow made a life for it. And it's up to us to kind of build on the foundation that they've laid. So what I'm going to do is, you know, see the struggle that my parents had, that we had, and make sure that I do my best to minimize the struggle from happening ever again. To minimize bills being behind. To minimize, you know, us having to, but like, you could be fooled looking at me and being like, Isoa eats all the time. Oh my gosh. There are periods of time where we would literally just have bread and butter. That is it. We'd be lucky to have sugar for our tea. And milk was a luxury back then. Again, lucky I have my own job now, so I can buy my own milk and supply that. My parents are more than happy of just going without. I'm sorry, Dad, I have a certain standard of living. I need my milk. But yeah, building on that foundation so we can just kind of be all that our parents wanted us to be. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know how, but yeah. Again, this is not a place for me to answer anyone's questions or anything. This is just me sharing my experiences and being unapologetically me. And I'm just grateful that there's people who want me to start this podcast, and I'm sorry if it didn't come out the way you wanted it to. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. This is it. This is what happens when you start a podcast in the middle of level 4 lockdown with no plans, no nothing, no guests, none of that. And no, I'm not gonna start doing Zoom guests because I don't think I have enough space on the computer to record. But yeah, this is the first episode of Cup of Tea with Isoa, and we're talking about, I forgot what we were talking about, but yeah, we'll see you guys next time, and yeah, thanks guys.